So apparently in 2015, Activision filed a patent that encourages microtransactions during matchmaking. Let's talk about it right here on The Dose, episode 132. So we all know that microtransactions have been in the news recently. They've been in the news for a while, but here recently, that's been the forefront of the news, right? Star Wars Battlefront 2, Destiny, blah, 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 Overwatch. I know Overwatch has loot boxes or crates or whatever they call them in their game. It's just been that thing kind of looming over the gaming industry. And this news right here puts it all into perspective, man. Now, there is some light at the end of this tunnel based on this article. There's been an update. Activision has released a statement. We'll talk about that in a second, but let me just go ahead and give you guys an idea of what this patent actually does. A patent granted to Activision outlines a new matchmaking system that would pair players together in order to encourage microtransactions. Systems such as loot boxes already use various tricks to encourage players to drop cash, so it's not surprising that game publishers would want to find more underhanded ways to get those wallets open. First reported by the Rolling Stone, the patent, filed in 2015 and granted on October the 17th of this year, outlines a process in which computer algorithms can match players together in order to increase the likelihood of microtransaction purchases. For example, if the player purchased a particular weapon, the microtransaction engine may match the player in a gameplay session in which the particular weapon is highly effective. The text of the patent reads, "This may encourage the player to make future purchases to achieve similar gameplay results." So kind of to break this thing down, guys, what this is meaning is, like, let's say that I just bought a ton of microtransactions. I just got that brand new rifle in the game that everybody wants, right? I got it. And I get into a match and it's dominant. I'm dominating everybody, right? Now, you would think, well, that's just kind of lucky. I got pitted up with this guy. You know, it won't happen every time. But what this patent does is it allows me to be placed in your game on purpose by the actual, what they're calling Microtransaction Engine 128 is what they're calling it, right? And that way it encourages you guys, because you're just getting owned. You know what I mean? I'm just dominating everybody, wrecking people with my crazy microtransaction gun that I got from the game. It encourages all of you who are getting destroyed to say, you know what, I want to compete, so I'm going to go out and make sure that I get my hands on that gun. And I'm not going to wait for the game to give it to me based on RNG. I'm going to slap my credit card on it and see if I can get it a little bit quicker. Now, like I was telling you guys earlier, the light at the end of the tunnel on this thing is that it just got passed. Like, they just got their patent. It was filed in 2015, but they were not given access until October the 17th, which was just a couple of days ago, right? So it should not be in any game that we're currently playing. In fact, an Activision spokesperson responded to all of these claims and said this: "This was an exploratory patent filed in 2015 by an R&D team working independently from our game studios. It has not been implemented in-game." So you guys know immediately how I feel about a statement like that. Like, why would you go through all that process of filing that patent, like, if you weren't gonna try to use it for something? Now, like I said, they just got the patent passed this year, so it's not in games like Destiny 2, because we know that game was launched prior to this date. But that does create a very scary idea for the future of gaming. We can already see that games are moving in this direction because gamers are ready to spend that money. Gamers are ready to invest their time and their money into games like this with these heavy microtransactions, some of these of which do affect gameplay. They're not strictly cosmetic. And if you've got a patent in your back pocket that legally says, hey, I can do this and everything's all good, you know what I'm saying? Like, what in the heck is going to stop you from abusing that kind of power? So at some point, we as gamers, man, we're going to have to buckle down on this. The only way, guys, that we're going to be able to affect change is if we tackle their wallet. That's it. I mean, that's the only way you can do it. And it sucks because there's a lot of games out there that I know many of us want to play on day one. That includes myself. Heck, I run a YouTube channel. It's important that I cover games on day one. But we're going to have to find a different way to make these purchases. Now, I think a lot of times when you guys hear me make statements like that you think that I'm telling you never to buy these games. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you wait till they come out for like $20. You buy them at a cheaper rate, which still affects their wallet. It's the compromise. You could rent them from a Redbox, or if you have a rental store near you that still does, physical rentals, that's the way that you affect their pocket. Buy it off eBay, right? Buy it secondhand. So somebody else paid the money for the game, but then instead of you buying it and they get credit for 2 sales, right? You buy it from somebody else. There's all kind of ways that you can still hurt their wallet and still have the ability to play the games. But the last thing you want to do is go on day one or pre-order something like this if you stand against it. If you don't have an issue with this kind of stuff, you vote with your wallet the other way, right? You have that right. You have that freedom. But for those of us who are like, microtransactions suck and they're eventually going to destroy the thing that we love to do, that's how we have to vote with our wallet. So the question of the day is, is that spokesperson who decided to release a statement from Activision, is that just a bunch of nonsense, a PR move so that we don't fly off the handle as gamers and start boycotting games? My mind says that it probably is, but you never know. I mean, time will tell. The crazy thing is that I don't think we'll ever really know, will we? You know what I mean? Like if they put out a game tomorrow and it does have this system, like how are we supposed to know? I'll be honest with you. In some cases, I feel like this system, I know it hasn't been in play, right? Because they just I guess they could have put it in place. They just didn't have the patent. There's nothing illegal about putting something in a game that you don't have a patent on. The patent is just to make sure that you can secure the idea for yourself. So how do we know? That's my thing. Like, how do we know that something like this hasn't already been implemented? Maybe just not be public yet, right? And would there be any way for us to know if it has been implemented into a game? It just makes you wonder about all games that have microtransactions at this point. It calls them all into question, even if they're just from a cosmetic standpoint, which has always been the foot in the door, right? Well, it's just cosmetic and it'll never be something that actually, changes the way that the game is played like we're seeing now. But they only got to that point because they started off with cosmetic stuff. That's how everything started, right? So we just have to be careful and look forward, or look in the future, guys, when it comes to these games, and really figure out how we're going to vote with our wallet. It's going to be very important. And like I said, there's plenty of ways for you guys to enjoy these games and not put money into their hands and affect their sales on day one. And that's really the critical mark you have to make on these companies. It's that day one, maybe like that 24 to 72 hour window when they really accumulate their massive amount of money. That's when the best time, like, to make a statement, to say we're not going to buy this garbage and we're not going to put our money into it. So you guys will have to figure that out for yourself. You guys know where I stand with that sort of stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys be good. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, all I ask is that you consider supporting my work over on Patreon. Currently, I don't run any ads on my videos, so the only way that I can earn any revenue on this platform is through crowdfunding. So any help you can throw my way would be greatly appreciated. For more information, you can click the box on the left-hand side of the screen, or to be the first link in the description below. Thank you.